Right, this week we're going to be talking about the muscular system. The muscular system, in conjunction with the skeletal system, is responsible for the movement of the human body. Muscles are the only tissue in the body that have the ability to contract and therefore move the other parts of the body. The system consists of layers of muscles that cover the bones of the skeleton. Extend across the joints, can extract and relax to produce movement. Attached to the bones of the skeletal system are about 700 named muscles that make up roughly half of a person's body weight. Each of these muscles is a discrete organ constructed of skeletal muscle tissue, blood vessels, tendons, and nerves. Muscle tissue is also found inside of the heart, digestive organs, and blood vessels. In these organs, muscles serve to move the substances through the body, and there are three types of muscle tissue: visceral, cardiac, and skeletal. So I set this up a little bit differently today, just because it's a little different as far as what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to be talking about muscular conditions, and a couple, they were in the book under this area. I don't know if I agree that they belong in this section of the book, but they're there. So, a smoothly operating musculoskeletal system contributes to significant quality of life, facilitating in coordination, balance, and ease of movement so that we can carry out everyday activities with ease. So today we're going to explore how key nutrients and holistic remedies can help nurture, strengthen, and protect the important parts of our body. And when damaged and inflammation hamper the muscular system, we're going to learn how these holistic approaches offer support and promote healing. So back pain, we can use some relaxing herbs for nerves and antispasmodics for muscles that can relieve tension and pain. Herbs that ease inflammation are beneficial, and circulatory herbs can help revitalize stagnant tissues. Certain herbal supplements can be taken to help reduce inflammation and pain associated with tissue healing. The one that kind of surprised me was the St. John's wort, but it has been proven to reduce nerve inflammation and heal and soothe pain locally. Of course, we already kind of know turmeric, which is in our Solflex PI, because it contains inflammation cooling compounds, which help soothe inflammation. Taking an omega-3 fatty acid, which is like in our Solmegas, it does not have to be from fish, help cool inflammation as well. And protein powder. Having a good protein powder is a supplement that contains amino acids, which helps support the joints and the tissues. So analgesic essential oils and those that increase local blood circulation, known as rubefacient oils, can be extremely beneficial in massage blends to relieve the pain of backache. To relieve tension, you can also take a bath using relaxing essential oils. So whenever you take a bath, like oil and water don't mix. So you want to take some Epsom salt or even some baking soda works. And then you put the oils in the salt or the soda and then put it in the water, and then it kind of mixes in. Peppermint and wintergreen is amazing for this. They're analgesic. They help soothe stiff joints and reduce back pain. Frankincense, which is in our balance essential oil, boosts circulation, helping to cool inflammation associated with back pain. Frankincense is also in Solflex PI, I believe it is. Cypress, which is in our calm essential oil, helps promote healthy circulation and tissue repair. And lavender, which is in our balance as well, is an effective treatment for relieving muscular aches and pains, and is also renowned for its relaxing properties to help ease tension. So definitely some lifestyle changes when you have, constant back pain. Staying active, a sedentary lifestyle can raise your risk for lower back pain. So if your job involves a lot of sitting, make sure you balance that out with some time for exercise or activities that keep you moving. Look for exercise specifically designed for lower back pain. I love that my iWatch that I'm not wearing right now will tell me you've been sitting too long, stand up and move around, because I sit in here way too much. Replacing your mattress can be a good idea. Sleeping on a medium firm mattress supports your back and reduce the time and pain. And yoga has been shown to help keep the spine flexible and less prone to injury. So years ago, before I had Cameron, I was seeing this, it was kind of ironic. I started going to see this chiropractor because I had neck pain and migraines, which kind of ironic. But then I started having more and more back pain. And so he was adjusting me like 3 or 4 times a week, which I learned no chiropractor should be adjusting you that often. And I just had back pain. So finally we moved out of our house and into an apartment while we're waiting to build this house, bought a new mattress. I stopped getting adjustments and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, my back is fine. It's amazing what a new mattress can do. That, and I was doing prenatal yoga pretty much every day. So that probably helped. Okay, so chronic fatigue syndrome. This is one that I'm not entirely sure why this is in this area, but it was in the book. So I thought we'd still just go ahead and talk about it. So chronic fatigue syndrome is an illness characterized by extreme fatigue that lasts at least 6 months. One of its challenges is that it's impossible to diagnose with lab tests alone. However, some experts believe it's closely related to adrenal fatigue or system-wide inflammation of the body. I actually think that you can do some lab tests and check for adrenal function to really figure this out. But I think a lot of people will be like, oh, I have chronic fatigue just because they're tired. Chronic fatigue is an actual medical diagnosis. But yeah, because there's not like a cut and dry, lab work or whatever, it's kind of hard to, determine the difference. But more than 1 million Americans are suffering from this debilitating illness that manifests as a lack of energy and motion, and women are 2 to 4 times more likely than men to be diagnosed. When left untreated, it can decrease stamina, decrease memory and concentration, and your overall quality of life. People who suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome must do their best to manage stress and get plenty of rest, and essential oils and herbs can help with that. Okay, so gentle tonic herbs that do not overstimulate the body can be taken long-term to help restore strength, while strengthening the digestive tonic and immune-boosting herbs are supportive and also help to improve vitality. These can be helpful with a nutrient-dense diet that support immunity, fight fatigue, and low spirits. So Siberian ginseng, oh wait, why is that not on here? Anyway, Siberian ginseng is one of them. We don't have Siberian ginseng, but we have American ginseng, and I can't remember which one it's in. I don't know why it's not on my slide, but oh, that's weird. I think I forgot to change this slide over from whatever it was before. I apologize, my bad. Okay, so Siberian ginseng helps fight fatigue. It also is a strengthening tonic for the adrenal glands, which secretes hormones to help regulate the body's response to stress and are essential for vitality as well as the immune system. The Siberian and American ginseng, those are adaptogens. Sorry, I forgot to change that slide over. Astragalus, which is another adaptogen, are you seeing a pattern here, is traditionally used for physical weakness. It's an immune system tonic which rebuilds the strength and vitality. Astragalus is in our adaptable, our soul complete, and our vital. And rhodiola, which is another adaptogen herb, is an Eastern European folk medicine used to enhance physical and mental performance to fight depression, which is also in our adaptable and our vital. Did I change these over? Oh, I did. Okay. Aromatic essential oils can help reduce the symptoms of chronic fatigue. So even just smelling certain smells can kind of give you a lift and wake you up. I do this all the time because I hit a wall in the afternoon. Chronic fatigue, part of having fibromyalgia, which we're also going to talk about today. So certain smells and scents can kind of wake me up. So even just smelling these things can just kind of give me like a whew, right, a wake up. Holy basil, which is in our Clarify essential oil, is an adaptogen that supports healthy adrenal function, improves energy, and reduces stress. It's in our Clarify, and your adrenals are kind of like, so even applying the oil, just like Lydia's taught us before, you know, like neck, wrist, bottom of the feet, that actually helps support our adrenals as well when you use them on topically on your body, but also smelling those things can give you a little pick me up. Roman chamomile is ideal for fighting stress and insomnia. The lavender and ylang ylang, we don't have any ylang ylang in our stuff. I love the smell of ylang ylang, you guys. It is kind of an expensive oil, but it smells beautifully. I don't think Eric would want to wear it. It's kind of a perfumey smell. It's one of those things that I have replaced instead of perfumes sometimes. You might like it on your wife though. But it helps really relax the mind and your body and increase circulation. And lavender is inside our balance oil. Rosemary improves energy by soothing inflammation and supporting brain health. So we know that when we're using essential oils, both using them aromatically, putting them in a diffuser, just smelling them directly from the bottle, but also applying them to your body can help as well. So there's definitely some lifestyle things. I could have gotten into nutrition as well, but I felt like that was a little bit more complicated for this. But checking your thyroid function as well as your iron levels with your doctor to verify that those aren't off. Because if you have low iron, you have a low functioning thyroid, it's probably that, because a lot of these other things can lead to chronic fatigue, right? So you want to make sure that those things are taken care of. Those things are totally normal, and then you're still having chronic fatigue. I usually say, like, if you're also not dealing with autoimmune, then it probably is a true autoimmune, chronic fatigue syndrome. There's definitely some relaxation techniques that can help, some gentle exercise, like some yoga or some Tai Chi. I used to do some Tai Chi with my father-in-law up at the church before he passed away. And I was like the only one that wasn't like elderly, but it was super cute. My sister-in-law would watch Cameron and I would go out there and do it. And I loved it. I missed that. When I put that up there today, I was like, oh, I miss doing that so much. And also working on improving your sleep. What usually happens when we have chronic fatigue syndrome is that you could sleep 16 hours a day and still not feel rested and be tired. And that's because those with chronic fatigue syndrome are usually prone to multiple sleep disorders that need to be addressed. They're usually not getting enough deep sleep, which is the most important part of your sleep, which is where your muscles relax. It's where you start to flush the toxins from your body. It's where your brain does all of its restoration. So when we're not getting enough deep sleep, it's going to lead to chronic fatigue. So even like if you've slept 8 to 10 hours and you feel like you haven't slept at all, there's a reason for that. It's kind of ironic, like a cruel irony in that, like, sleep is the best remedy for chronic fatigue, but we may not be able to solve all our problems with sleep, especially if you're not getting good quality sleep when you are sleeping. So you may need a sleep study or other interventions to help improve your sleep. I will tell you, I did some cognitive behavioral therapy a few years ago. My friend and business partner, well, we're not really business partners right now, but she's a sleep expert. I went through that program, really, really helped. And I do believe that me taking Vertizymes and Renew before bed has really, really helped as well. Okay, so I tried to narrow this way down because my master classes I run every week are like 40 minutes long. So I'm going to give you a little shot of fibromyalgia. Obviously, this is where my expertise is, having it, and also that's my niche. But fibromyalgia usually affects women and is characterized by chronic pain and fatigue. There's actually over 200 symptoms of fibromyalgia, but the one consistent among everybody is the pain and the fatigue. The cause is uncertain, but it may be linked to certain brain chemicals or a fault in the transmission of pain signals. I've been doing a lot of reading over the last couple of years. A lot of doctors and specialists believe that it's actually a hyperactive stress response in the body. that can be caused by past trauma. And it could be any kind of trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma, that you just get stuck in that. So reducing that stress is huge. So symptoms include muscle stiffness, sleep disturbances, gastrointestinal discomfort, anxiety, and even depression. So tonic herbs are the main natural remedy for fibromyalgia, with a focus on herbs to improve circulation to the head and the central nervous system. Herbs also help to relax muscles, calm the mind, and relieve pain. What's interesting is that 80% of people that take medication, the medication doesn't help them at all, like not at all. So it's very, very rare that medication will actually help somebody. And obviously there's some key things, like I just put some key things here from my book that talks about it, but I can tell you exactly what I've done that's helped me really well and what I usually do with my clients. So licorice root, interacts with the body's adrenal function, balancing out the hormones and restoring vitality that help treat fibromyalgia. And that's in our avant greens. Omega-3 fatty acids is one that I think those of us with fibro need to be taking every single day. And they have an anti-inflammatory action that help reduce the pain and stiffness. Turmeric, which of course is in our Sulflex PI, cannot live without that stuff. Contains the curcumin, but it also has other things in there, right, that are amazing. It's more than just curcumin. And that's what I tell people. They'll be like, oh, but I go to Walmart and pick up some turmeric. And I was like, A, quality, B, when you put the other adaptogens in with the Sulflex PI, it really does make a huge difference. Because I was taking turmeric for years. I felt like it did nothing for me, right? But it's really known as an anti-inflammatory. It has lots of antioxidants. Taking a vitamin D, which we know our Neuro IM has some vitamin D, but probably not a lot. People with fibromyalgia should be taking 5,000 to 10,000 vitamin D every day. Same if you have autoimmune issues. So that's just not enough. So you usually, Chris DeVilliers has always recommended the pure encapsulations, which I started using. They're pretty good. And magnesium deficiency is also sometimes linked to fibromyalgia. And we've talked before through all of this, several of our products contain magnesium. As far as I usually sometimes start my clients out on that balance pack or on the Bella package, but ideally I want them to move into the Bella package. And for me, when I am consistent, like when I'm on the Bella package is usually when I feel the best. So it is more expensive, but that's usually what I do. And oh, back it up. Bella package plus Sulflex PI. They have to have that Sulflex PI. Okay, so as far as essential oils go, there are several oils that have been shown to ease muscle pain and help. Frankincense is one of them. Frankincense is one of those things that I will tell you, I actually keep in my house pure. It's very expensive because I use it all the time. In addition, especially when I have a flare up, which knock on wood, I haven't really needed it lately, the frankincense, but it can show to ease muscle pain, improve circulation and the health of the nerve tissue, make an effective natural remedy for fibromyalgia. Lavender also has cooling properties that help relieve tension and pain, can help relieve fibro symptoms, including some sleep difficulty, the anxiety, and the depression. And peppermint, you guys may know why I talk about peppermint all the time now that you see this. It is really good at relieving pain. So I do use that all the time. I usually even combine it with the frankincense and rub it into sore muscles or when I'm really sore, because that seems to help. So some lifestyle, definitely working on the insomnia. I kind of shared with you before how I did some cognitive behavioral techniques that kind of helped me with that. I had always slept like a rock star until I was diagnosed with fibro and then just couldn't sleep anymore. But that has really helped me a lot. That and taking the herbs. But also I teach my clients on having a regular sleep routine. Fibromyalgia does not like change. So consistency in things that you do is really important, especially when it comes to sleep. I talk about gentle, regular exercise. In fact, I like to call it therapeutic movement because it definitely looks different for people with fibro than if you don't. So swimming can be really good. Yoga can be really good. Walking can be really good. My kids used to tease me because I'd go do water aerobics in the pool and they're like, Mom, you're the only one that's not a grandma. And I'm like, I don't care. I like it. Acupuncture can be really amazing to help you reduce and improve your quality of life for those with chronic pain conditions. I always want to add to that, you really need to have an acupuncturist that understands fibro though. So not all of them do. But yeah, I go every other week. I started with weekly and now I'm down to every other week, but I love my acupuncturist. And massage, same thing. A massage therapist needs to understand fibromyalgia or they can hurt someone, okay? So I've been on both ends of the spectrum where people have actually really, really hurt me giving massage. So you can do massage with or without essential oils. It can aid in relaxation, relieve pain, reduce anxiety and depression. I had to put this here because I was doing this and I was like, oh, it says weekly sessions are most beneficial. And I was like, Mike, it says right here in this book, he's like, we can't afford for you to go weekly. I'm like, but I should go weekly. I actually do massage with CBD. And so the CBD also has some essential oils in it, but that has been amazing. I've also actually taken in my AC cream. So the last girl that gave me massages, she would let me sneak it in and do it, but they won't let me do it anymore. But now they have the CBD, which is fine. I would take this in. She'd kind of have to mix it with some of her massage oils because it was a little thick, but she used to give me a massage with the AC cream. The only thing is it would literally take sometimes almost the entire bottle, but it was worth it. Okay, so next we're going to talk about multiple sclerosis, which is an autoimmune issue and which is the immune system eating away at the protective covering of the nerves, causing nerve damage. Although there's no specific cause, some possible suspect infection, mold toxicity, emotional stress, hormonal imbalance, toxic exposure, vitamin D deficiency, food allergies, and immunizations. Common symptoms of MS include blurred or double vision, trouble thinking, loss of coordination, loss of balance, numbness, tingling, and limb weakness. So some of the herbal supplements you use, definitely an omega-3. It does not have to come from fish, right? But it can help soothe the inflammation and promote healthy nerve functioning. The turmeric, which is in our Sulflex PI, cools the inflammation and immune supportive compounds. And lion's mane mushroom, which is in our Neuro IM, promotes healthy neurological function in nerve cells. Essential oils like frankincense and helichrysum and rosemary and basil have shown to help, the frankincense especially is shown to help neurological support and boost the immune system, which can help fight infection. Helichrysum is in the same family as lavender, actually, but it helps detoxify the body and boost the immune system. Also helps relieve pain and swelling. And then the rosemary and basil, both of those things are in our Clarify, support nerve tissue health and cool inflammation. So now a little bit more common things, some muscle cramps and aches. So a muscle cramp is an involuntary, forcibly contracted muscle that does not relax. Most people experience muscle cramps at some point in their life. There are numerous types of causes of muscle cramps. One of the most common causes of muscle cramps is dehydration. Other causes include increased physical activity or lack of activity, stress, nutritional deficiencies, and hormonal changes. The body may not be getting enough electrolytes, such as potassium or magnesium. Other medical explanations include fibromyalgia, statin drugs, flu symptoms, hormonal changes, and Lyme disease. Essential oils and herbs can be natural remedies to soothe muscle aches and pains. So antispasmodic herbs can reduce inflammation as well as relax the muscles and help ease stiffness. And circulatory stimulants will help promote blood flow through the muscles and improve their function and general movement. So ginkgo biloba, which is in our Soul Complete in our Avent Greens, help increase blood supply to muscles. That's anti-inflammatory, helping relieve stiffness and cramping. There's something called cramp bark, which I've never heard of before, and now I'm kind of interested in what it is. Relaxes muscle tensions to promote blood flow and movement. And this other one, white willow bark, which is funny because Amy and I were having a conversation about something the other day, and I was like, was it white willow bark? Now I can't remember, because then it just came up, and I think it was, but it's not in our stuff, is an anti-inflammatory, relieving stiffness. And of course, some magnesium, which we know is in a lot of our products, can help with muscle relaxation. And then there's stuff, obviously there's herbs and awesome stuff in the Solflex AC cream, also super helpful. As far as oils go, peppermint and wintergreen are really effective natural pain relievers, muscle relaxants when applied topically. I would even put those things in this as a carrier and then apply it. Cypress, which is in our calm oil, is a sedating oil with a calming, relaxing effect on the body. Marjoram and lemongrass. I don't think the marjoram, but the lemongrass is in our Clarify, and it reduces muscle spasms and muscle discomfort. And of course, lavender is indicated for relief of muscular spasms, cramps, sprains, and rheumatism. So lavender is also known as the Swiss Army knife of oils because it can be used for so many different things. Okay, that's why it's probably in pretty much everything we talk about. And so also low levels of potassium, magnesium, and calcium have been linked to muscle pains and cramps. So if you're prone to getting those on a regular basis, eating foods like raw chocolate nibs or the raw cacao is really high in calcium and magnesium. And they're really delicious to put over your yogurt or to add to a fruit salad. Tomato juice is rich in potassium, so you can have a small daily glass to ward off cramps. Try spicing it up with a shot of chili sauce or add pain-relieving curcumin. Bananas are potassium rich, so eating those every day. Whole grain foods supply magnesium. We should be eating whole grains daily. And what to avoid: caffeine and alcohol can raise the risk of muscular cramping. So try cutting. I love it. It's like, cut these out completely. And I'm like, no, who wants to do that? Just kidding. Or at least try cutting it out to see if that happens, especially if you have like chronic muscle cramping, or reduce the intake. Because I love my coffee. All right, tendinitis is an inflammation or irritation of a tendon, which is a thick cord that attaches to bone and muscle. It's often caused by a repetitive minor impact on the affected area or from a sudden, more serious injury. Activities that often cause tendinitis are carpentry, gardening, tennis, golf, painting, and scrubbing. Anyone can get tendinitis, but it's more common in adults, especially those over the age of 40. As tendons age, they tolerate less stress. They're less elastic and tear more easily. Thus, the importance of stretching, especially if you're over 40. So symptoms include pain at the site of the tendon and surrounding areas. Shoulder tendons involve the loss of motion and flexibility. It's often called adhesive capsulitis or frozen shoulder. Conventional therapies for tendinitis include NSAIDs like the ibuprofen and the aspirin, even cortisol injections. And both of those things, especially if you're doing them on a regular basis, can lead to liver problems, stomach pain, GI issues, high blood pressure, and more. So we could try some herbal supplements and essential oils instead. So bromelain, which is an anti-inflammatory, and it's an enzyme that comes from pineapples, which is kind of interesting. That is in our Advent greens, and I am seeing that I forgot to even change this slide. What was I thinking? I was slacking this week, guys. I'm sorry. And turmeric from our Solflex PI, of course, is really awesome at cooling inflammation. So things like frankincense, cypress, and peppermint, frankincense improves circulation and cools inflammation. It can also work to numb the affected area. Cypress cools inflammation also and soothes muscles and joints. And peppermint is a natural analgesic and muscle relaxant. All right, so as always, I like it if you guys come off mute and share any like testimonials you have using soul, helping with anything that conditions we talked about or things we haven't talked about. That would be great. And not next week, but the following week, we're going to talk about the lymphatic, AKA the immune system.
So I know that, so